and we're super excited because this is the first time that we're going to be able to order a vegan meal here.
About 2 weeks ago, we saw online that there were vegan options available at the Wizarding World, and we've been waiting for that, and it's finally happening.
We've been dreaming about this for a long time, so we're going to try our first one right now.
Like, this is so freaking exciting. It's so exciting to finally see the 2 little leaves next to items on the menu. Can't believe there's vegan options now. It's exciting. So it begins. It smells fantastic. It just looks very small, so hopefully it's filling.
Yeah, this is the Irish stew, and it comes with the side salad. We also got fries because we wanted to share it. The presentation leaves something to be desired, but we'll see how it tastes.
Is that like Satan, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
It's good. It's weird.
The meat in there definitely tastes like maybe like a field roast sausage or something. It's got that same consistency.
I see what you mean about like the field roast sausage thing. I'm expecting more of like a beef cube.
And the broth is like kind of like slimy or something, but when you taste it, to me it's not. It doesn't taste as weird as it looks. It's a little like plain, but I don't think in like a bad way. Like it's kind of tastes
It's like comforting or something.
Yeah, it is very comforting and neutral. Let's try some crackers in there.
Crackers help a lot with the broth consistency.
With the crackers, the stew is much better. It has like something, like a new element. And it came with crackers, so it's probably intended to be served with the crackers in them. I like it a lot better with the crackers. The salad was mostly just a combination of iceberg lettuce, some romaine in there, spinach maybe. So that was nothing impressive. The tomato was like peppered, which was kind of good. And then the dressing was like a vinaigrette without a lot of vinegar, more fat, kind of herbally. It was like super fresh tasting, kind of a good combo to go with the stew.
Overall, it's a 5 out of 10 for me. Honestly, I just liked the fries way more over everything else. I just did with malt vinegar on it.
I maintain a 6 out of 10, especially with the crackers in there. The whole thing with the salad worked well together. I'm hopeful that the other ones are better. I'm hopeful that this is the worst of them. But I would never order a stew normally, so maybe it's also my preferences.
Stopped by a little food truck in Hogsmeade and we grabbed 2 of the Shepherd's Pasty Pies.
They are $9 a piece, so they're a little on the pricey side for their size, but hopefully their taste makes up for it. And we get to enjoy them with some strongbow and a view of Hogwarts Castle. Cheers.
Cheers.
The crust is really flaky and tasty, but it's very, very salty, very salty.
The first thing I tasted was the salt. It's got like this like big pretzel sea salt on top, but the inside doesn't have much flavor at all, so really, as Alex said, all you can really taste is the salt, but I do like the flakiness of the crust.
I'm gonna give this 4 out of 10, just because the crust is really good. I like the flakiness, but the inside is not great. All in all, though, I think like it's a fitting addition, so I think that's cool. And you get it from a quick service cart, which is cool to have too.
Subscribe for more adventures with Clever Girl.
And join our Patreon for early access to videos, an exclusive blog, and even more shenanigans. The link is in the video description.
We're back at the Leaky Cauldron. Last time we were here, we had their Irish stew. So this time we're getting the Shepherd's Pasty Pie, which we had at the Magic Meat, which is a little food cart outside in Hogsmeade. We weren't very pleased with it because it was a bit expensive for what it was, but this time it comes with sides. So it has like an apple beet salad and some fries. So we're gonna try that and see what we think. But it's a lot more calm and slower here right now, as opposed to the past few days. So I think that we're really gonna enjoy our experience more. Initial impressions, this is way bigger. That was the first thing I said as soon as he put the plate in front of me.
It's like half again as big.
The sides are pretty small, so we were sort of banking on the sides being way better than the main piece, but this looks really impressive.
Yeah, it's like maybe a half order of fries and then a little thing of apple and beet salad. It's got this dipping sauce, which also might make this better.
The crust is much more flaky than the other one. There's no like pretzel salt on top, which is better. Like it doesn't overwhelm it with salt. It comes with this sauce, which is like a horseradish mustard, kind of like a horsey sauce from Arby's. This apple beet salad is like really understated and like an unusual theme park food. It's very earthy and it's not super flavorful, but you just get like an overwhelming earth vegetable feel, which is like fits all this so well. Like it's a really enjoyable part of this. So far, I think this is the best thing we've had, like by far. We highly suggest if you're gonna order this, get an extra side of fries if you're getting it for 2 people, because it could use the extra side.
And of course, lots of malt vinegar. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Way exceeded my expectations. The pasty pie itself was just like way better than the smaller one we had. The fact that the crust didn't have all of that salt made a huge difference. The inside was about the same, the filling, but it was big and it was substantial and very filling. It was really transporting to eat it in the Leaky Cauldron with the music and the setting, and so it wasn't just the fact that we were eating something that we could eat in the Wizarding World, but it was also very delicious.
I think like the meal itself is probably like an 8 out of 10. A lot of meals at theme parks I come away from like kind of half full or 3/4 full, and this wasn't like a huge portion, but it was very filling because it was bread and it was fries and it was beets and apples. I just came away from it feeling very satisfied. I think it's one of my top favorite meals here now, which I didn't expect coming into this, but it's just like really satisfying and like wholesome and just totally befitting of the Wizarding World. We like to spend time in the Wizarding World and just like, you know, have drinks and hang out and stuff, and one thing we've never been able to do is like go in and have a meal. So like, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
So today is the very last day of our annual passes.
They expire today.
And so on our last day, we're going to eat our last Wizarding World vegan meal. And this one is the mushroom pie. There's jackfruit and gravy, and it comes with a side salad. And it looks pretty tasty.
The side salad is much bigger than what came with the Irish stew, so that like makes me feel like the presentation's better.
Very true, yeah. So it looks like they just kind of float like a pastry on top of everything else. Like they just put a pastry on top.
Did.
It's really interesting.
That's totally what they did. And it looks like the stew underneath, like almost exactly like the stew.
The little circle of bread on top of this could be like flakier because it's kind of hard to like cut into. It's a little like, it's kind of like a cracker or something. The stew consistency thing underneath is like a better version of the Irish stew. Makes me wonder if maybe the Irish stew that we had over there was just like a bad batch that wasn't very well done, because I wouldn't be surprised if they were using the same kind of thing. The flavor is like kind of like a tangy, vinegary, really rosemary heavy stew. It's not very like chunky or anything. It's pretty saucy, pretty gravy-y, but I do like the flavor of it. For some reason, there's just like a whole slice of jackfruit in here.
I don't have any. I'm going fishing, but I'm not finding anything. Really, the only thing that you taste is like that vinegar taste and the rosemary. The only difference between this and the Irish stew really is that the Irish stew has little sausages, which are supposed to be roast beef, and this has jackfruit.
Right.
They might use like the same recipe for like the stew, like for everything else, just throwing in different
But the broth is
herbs.
different, because that was like see-through.
Yeah.
And this is like definitely like a brown broth.
We were definitely expecting like a shepherd's pie or something, like something with like veggies and dry filling, and not like a broth.
Yeah.
I would give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna give this one like a 5, but it's almost a 4.
Yeah.
I'm really not pleased with this, especially after having the pasty, because that was incredible. Again, it is terrific to have an option. We've only ever been in the Three Broomsticks like a couple of times because you normally have to have placed an order in order to sit in here, and we could never order anything. So it's so nice to be able to like order food and come in here and eat.
Overall, we're just so excited that we had a different experience in the Wizarding World and we were able to try different vegan options here. It's just an amazing feeling. We feel included. We feel more part of the world. It means a lot to us.
If you're vegan and you're a fan of the parks or a fan of Harry Potter, then you will appreciate just like how big of a step this is even to have options here. We definitely suggest trying the Pasty Pie meal at the Leaky Cauldron.
That was definitely the strongest meal. It was very filling, lots of really good flavors. We felt more transported eating that meal than we did eating any of the other options here.
The one thing that we're still really missing with the inclusion of this new food is vegan butterbeer. It's such a huge part of the Wizarding World, and everyone's walking around with butterbeer, and they've got it in the ice cream, and they've got it in custard, and they've got it in hot, frozen, and cold versions, but they don't have a vegan version.
There's an organization called Protego Foundation, and they have a petition out for bringing vegan butterbeer into the Wizarding World. We will have the link in the video description. If you could please go and sign that petition so we can move this in the right direction and hopefully have that vegan option for everybody who wants to be able to enjoy a butterbeer here at the Wizarding World. Mischief managed.